This is the rest portion, and honestly my most favorite, because it is actually the most important and least talked about and overlooked portion of fitness and health and life general, period. This was the missing piece and key that was holding me back when I tried all other courses and all other books and all other videos. It really was just not talked about and really needs to be focused on. And again, my personal opinion, the biggest pillar of fitness. Now, it's not just rest as in sleep, and that is the biggest portion of this, but in rest and everything. Rest with muscles, why we only work certain portions of the muscle on certain days and let it rest the rest of the week. Other types of rest are in the intermittent fasting, which is we talked about. Letting your food, because here's the deal, right? We eat a bunch of food, and if we keep eating food all the time, our body doesn't have the time to rest from all the digestion that it always has to do. So if you're overworking your body, it's just going to say, oh, food keeps coming in, where do we put it? It's going to store it as fat, and it doesn't have the time to burn the fat. So you need to rest. You need to give yourself times where you're not eating a bunch of food all the time. Give yourself, your body, your organs, everything time to just relax and chill and recharge its batteries. And so with my beef on the 3 meals rule, or in some cases 5 to 6 meals that we've been eating on the day, is that it really didn't give us enough time to rest and from food, because again, this is a capitalistic society. Our job is to sell. Breakfast, which is the most important meal of the day. Well, let's think about it. That didn't ever exist before commercials and marketing, right? Before, back in the day, in our primal state, we would hunt and gather, right? That was the only choices we had. We didn't have a store or online, or we can press an app and the food comes. It wasn't boxed, it wasn't processed, it didn't have colorful logos and pictures on the front. We legit had to wake up and go find food. And during that time, our body had time to rest. It wasn't eating and it wasn't just digesting all the time. We would eat only really 1 or 2 times a day when we found food, either through gathering or if we found plants or something to eat, or when we finally killed an animal that we can finally eat and digest. So yes, eating all the time, a lot of people, and it does work for some people, and if it works for you, that's great, okay? But when you're eating all the time, some have a theory that it boosts your metabolism, which could be true, but it's not really natural. We weren't eating a lot of food all the time, so it's not giving our body any time to rest, okay? And also another thing that I did find out over time was that, not all of us are rich, okay? I know you can meal prep a ton of different meals and you can be affordable with it. But again, it's a capitalistic solution to, a problem that didn't exist. Back in the day, okay, this is a crazy thing, but somebody, I can't remember where I saw it, but somebody said that, I think it was on KinoBody, but they said, imagine people, right? And when you saw somebody that was captured, unfortunately, from a prisoner of war, or they're some type of situation where they're locked up in a cage, they didn't get super fat because they didn't eat much and they only ate a little bit and their body stored it as fat. No, they were super skinny. They didn't eat as much because their body was resting a ton and it didn't really eat, and it was eating all the body fat. So really, if you put that logic, simplicity, not like a bunch of science, I wrote a bunch of stuff down that I did actual research with, but off the cuff right now, I'm just explaining things in a primal, simple form. Less is more. So let your body rest any way it can. Don't keep putting it through so much. Like I said, obviously work out, but don't work out all day, right? Work out when you can, and through the structures that you learn from this course or what you have in your vision, but don't overwork yourself, because anything over abundance, your body is now in survival mode. It is going to make things and store things as fat, because when it has that moment, it's going to put yourself in panic. Right? Another thing is with stress, okay? I'm talking about everything aside from sleep. I'm going to put that towards the end. But stress is another huge situation, right? It was a big reason on why I gained so much weight. I started, for you that are going to school or have a lot of work, or you're like me, an entrepreneur, and you like running your own company or starting your own company, you start to work a ton, and the whole part of it is like a very warrior mentality, and it's very, manly or cool to just go, 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 which is great. But the problem is your body is in this situation of a massive stress. And what do you do in stress, right? If I'm a machine body and I'm communicating to that brain and those nerves in that body, hey, this is a survival panic situation and it's like this every day. Well, what's it going to do? It's going to store resources because it doesn't know, it feels like it's in danger, right? So what is those resources? It's fat, it's body fat. So when you're always stressed, always panicking, always worrying, your body's going to take that food and it's going to communicate those things that you're signaling to your brain and your body. This is an important resource. Let's make sure we hold on to it because we're always stressed. We're always in a panic mode. We always feel like we're going to die. So it's going to keep storing it as fat. And this is, like I said, unfortunately something that I learned the hard way because I was eating this food and it was like always stressed, always not relaxed. And I would just store a ton of fat. Even though it was good food, I was eating lean chicken breast, broccoli. At the time I was trying this brown rice thing and mixed vegetables. But even if it was really solid, good fuel and food, it was still finding a way to store it as fat. And anytime I ate anything else outside that or cheat days or snacks, it would immediately store it as fat. And this is not just me talking. You guys seen the videos. I went from normal to overweight to obese to morbidly obese. So it can happen overnight. It can happen quickly. So do whatever you can, whether it be meditating, whether it be relaxing, whether it be taking time out of your day just to chill and relax. A couple tips that I have, like I said, again, this is before the sleep portion, but just to relax throughout the day. Some people like to meditate every single day. That's good. That's fine. If you know how to do it, there's great techniques on just basically just chilling out there, sitting in a nice pose or laying on your bed, even laying down on the ground flat in what they call corpse pose is really good. Give yourself a minute to like 5 minutes of just relaxing and just breathing, working on your breathing. Just inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then this third one, inhale and hold it. And exhale. And you can see you already start putting yourself in a different tone and your body's more relaxed and everything is good. Now, with meditation, some tips that I found is people are always focused on trying to not think about anything. And the problem with that is that when you try to not think about something, all you're going to do is just think about why can I not think about nothing. If you're trying to meditate, just allow yourself to think about whatever you want to think about. Because my personal opinion about meditation is that all it's there for is to help you clear your mind. So when you have anxieties and when you have things stacked up that you want to think about when you're thinking about nothing, just allow yourself to think through the process. And even if you're sitting there, lying down with your eyes closed or in a meditational pose, stop what you're doing and write it down on your checklist. It's simple. It's not as important to not do that. It's okay to break out of it because the thing is what I've heard is anxiety is, what is it? Anxieties are stemmed from procrastination. And what that really means is just you keep thinking about this thing over and over again because you're meant to do it. Your body is doing its job. It's reminding you something that you want to get done or something you need to get finished or get over with. But you won't stop having that thought or that process until you get it done. So what you do, the biggest next step I'm going to be talking about right now is have checklists. Have lists. Have things. What I use is this app called Kanban Flow, where it allows me to write down a list of everything that I want to do, and I can put these long lists. and then I can organize them by importance on when I want them to get done. There's other programs or softwares out there. I believe even Apple offers a type of checklist type of software for free. But the reason why this is massively important, and especially this is a totally different, I'll save most of this for my other course or book I want to do called Mop Boy to Millionaire, but checklists and lists are just so massively important. It helps with anxiety, it helps with your process, and it helps you rest and relax and calm yourself a lot more. Because when you organize your life and you organize your steps and you organize your process, you write them all down. Anytime you have a thought, just write it down in this checklist or process, even if you keep a physical journal. And that way you know you're going to get to it, and make sure you get to it. You check these things off. And when you do that, all your anxieties, all your stress, all your emotion starts to slowly relax, because it knows two things. One of them, it's going to get done. And two, when you get it done, you have that sigh of relief and you feel accomplishment, which also helps you relax too as well. So just before I forget, I want to just restate this because it's super important. Anxiety and stress is a stem of a procrastination. So again, make sure you always write things down. Don't ever feel worried that you're not getting things done. Get things done, write checklists. I mean, not only do I have my checklist on phone, let me show you guys. I have this huge, if you can even see it, it's kind of dark right now. I have my lights off because I've been shooting all day, this course all day. But I have right here a whiteboard where I write my other massive checklist, and then I have another blackboard that goes across my entire apartment of just lists of things that I need to get done, my big goals, my minor goals. And I mean, this is why I probably don't have a relationship, because nobody wants to live in a situation like this with me, where it's just massive lists and goals and procrastinations, things that I want to get done, and their checklists. But it helps me give a peace of mind. It's so nice when I just have everything physical, because I'm a very visual and physical person. When I have things out in front of me, it's a lot easier to accomplish those goals. So when you're meditating, when you're doing that, one other thing that I forgot to mention is that's why I love doing cardio. I like doing long, like simplicity cardio. Yes, like the cardio of you doing a bunch of different Kempo moves or different types of acrobatics or whatever, those are great. But something simple, it's good because you're also meditating as well. You'll be listening to some cool music that keeps you pumped, or if you're watching something really fun or listening to an audiobook, that's great. Definitely do that. But also you can utilize this time to just think about a lot of things that you need to get done. That's a process of meditation. It's a process of calming your mind, getting one with your mind. And when you start doing cardio every day, it really helps you just think things through. And again, feel free. If you're running or doing whatever, slow down, add some more to your list. If you have a thought that keeps going and over and over and over and again in your head, undecompress that information onto some type of list. That way you know it gets done. So your anxieties and your stress and everything can start to go way down, because you believe in yourself and you know you'll get it done. Again, if you guys have learned about my why, or you watch that portion of the course, it's not as important, but the why portion of knowing your why is super important. So make sure you know your why. But a lot of in that portion, if you didn't listen to it or read it or whatever, I was on the go nonstop, working all the time. And even some of my idols were doing the same thing. One of my first clients I got with my company Promo Affiliates I was very blessed. I was very lucky. It was Uber. They were just starting off. They were just in a couple cities like San Francisco, and they're coming to LA. And I got them as a client for a marketing company, and that's how I am here today. And I'm very blessed with that opportunity. It helped me. I helped them grow from just a couple cities to nationwide to now, as you guys know, worldwide. And it's been an amazing opportunity. But the mentality of having what Robert says from Shark Tank, I'm a huge fan of that show, by the way. But he says, opportunity is great, but you can also drown in opportunity, which is what I was totally doing. Our company and my team and myself, were all getting paid. The deal we had with them was per new user and new driver. So there wasn't a limit. It was just a flat rate per new user, per driver. They let us do whatever we wanted for marketing. Obviously, there was rules and it wasn't anything, but we just went ham and we just kept working and working and working. And it was just a great situation and environment for me financially. but health and physically it was not, because I was drowning in opportunity. I was just doing everything, getting zero sleep, zero rest, zero, calming myself down. So my anxieties and my stress and my rest was zero. And it was a lot of fun. But one huge wake-up call I had was I've been mentioned obviously in like Forbes, Huffington Post, TechCrunch, Fox News, but Huffington Post, the creator, the writer, Ariana Huffington, which was an idol of mine, was actually doing an interview with the CEO, which was idol and client of mine, Travis, the CEO and founder of Uber. And it was really cool to see them both in this situation, because I was like, man, I really admire and idolize both of these people. I cannot wait to hear what they're talking about. And to find out what they decided to talk about was how that people need to relax and start getting more sleep and rest, and it's causing a toxic situation in our culture. And I was blown away, because I was like, whoa, this is exactly like what I need to hear right now, because these are the people that I believe and see as the ones that are just the go-getters and are going, and I want to build my companies just like them, and I want to idolize them. But it was a huge wake-up call, and it happened to be two people that were like a big influence in my life. And so it was really nice for me to learn that. And listen, if you haven't checked out the discussion, you could probably Google it and check it out. But some of the topics they talked about, it's very true, because it's a very, bro culture. It was very hardcore hustle, I have plenty of time to sleep when I die, Iron Man would say that, and everybody, and it's true. And it's a very fun, like gladiator type, situation. And, me and all my friends totally lived by that mantra. But unfortunately, it led me down a really, really dark path where I was getting just a couple hours of sleep every night to like sometimes never sleeping. And it just really showed physically over time when I gained so much weight. So make sure, yes, work hard for your dreams, hustle, all that stuff is great. I've been through it all. I still do it to this day, but rest is huge. Rest is key. So do not forget, this is a thing that is important. And if you think it's too wussy or sissy to worry about, well, then you can be like me, morbidly obese and a man. And it is like it's not the most healthiest situation. So I'd rather be a wussy, sissy and healthy and live longer. And that way I can work harder and have more energy, because let's face it, right? If you get no sleep, and you get no rest, and you're stressed out of your mind, how much work do you really get done, right? You're sitting there, you're on your computer, and you're there, but it's just, when you have a full night's worth of rest, you get more done. One super major, massive fact that I did learn too as well, and I've kind of learned this over time to be real, is in the sense of, they say that you learn stuff when you learn stuff, but after you sleep on it, the word sleep on it, that's when your brain has time to process it and download it in your memory, and that's when you really learn it. And I found this to be very true. So that's why sleep is super important, even for the work hustle mode of life. When you learn something and when you study something for a test, yeah, some people would stay up all night and just try to take the test because they're just afraid you're going to forget it. But especially what I've learned too is that when you sleep on things, your body has that time to take in what it learned and, install it in your brain. Because if you don't give your body time to install things, then it's never going to do it, because it never has time. It never has that downtime. And just like a computer and a machine, your body can overheat. So give yourself some time to cool off and relax and chill. And now we're going to talk about the biggest portion of rest, which is sleep. This is to me, the biggest, most important thing that people continue to not talk about. And it's also the reason why they choose not to talk about it, because it's two things. One of them is they can't really sell you much stuff on it, because it's like, hey man, buy this product so you'll sleep more. It's not much there. It's kind of untapped. But really, it is the most important, because you need to sleep more. And it sounds lazy, but it's not. It's actually very, very important to fitness and life. So sleep is super important. Yes, the saying goes, try to get 7 to 10 hours a day, whatever, or I would say 7 to 8 hours, maybe 9 max. Everybody's different, but try to get as much sleep as possible. It's very, very, very important. And what you can really know, it's the scientific, more breakdown reason of this is they call it REM. So try to get, there's 4 stages of REM, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is the deepest stage of REM. and you can only, I think they say every 2 hours of sleep, you get only 20 minutes of stage 4 REM. And every cycle, it goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and that's when you get the true rest. So the goal is to really hit 3 cycles of stage 4 REM, which is the most important thing, and it's hard to really know. There's a lot of apps out there now that are kind of working on trying to help people accomplish that goal. But really what I do, and I'm very blessed and I can do this because I run my own company and I do my own thing. I pass out when I'm tired or I'm done with a bunch of work that I want to pass out. And I don't have an alarm clock. I just wake up when my body is done with those stages of REM. And I got to tell you, that's really helped massively with my weight loss because I'm not disrupting a cycle of my REM. It's my body is doing a natural thing, and it's what really helped a lot of my weight loss. And you guys will see, you don't lose weight after you work out and eat. You lose weight during that sleep. That's when your body is breaking down that fat. It's when you're sleeping. Your body is not breaking down fat when you're at the gym and when you're running. You're not running on the treadmill and your body's melting away the pounds. No, your body does what it does during the day. And then during the sleep, that's when it's repairing the muscle that you just ripped up, and it's melting away the fat that you need to do to burn to get leaner. And that's why it is the most important time. It's your body's not building muscle during the day. You're not losing fat during the day. You're losing it when you sleep. So if you're not sleeping, your body's not doing those things. So you need to make sure you get sleep every night. Now, if you say, Aaron, well, this is BS, man. I have to be at work at a certain time. I have to go to school at a certain time. That's basically 99.5% of the world, right? So that's the situation, and my solution to just wake up when you want to wake up, or wake up when your body tells you to wake up, is not a good solution for all of you. So here is some tips that I hope that will get you still to accomplish that goal. Number one, the biggest tip, and that none of you guys are going to like it, is try to go to sleep earlier. That is the biggest tip there is, but it's unfortunately no one wants to hear it because it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to watch more of my streaming. I want to watch more Netflix. I want to play more games. I want to hang out, go to more parties. But I'm telling you, get yourself to go to sleep earlier. There are 2 major reasons why that's so important. One is that you hit more stage 4 REMs before midnight. Yes, that is true. If you go to bed earlier, you sleep deeper and better. Now, this is not a scientific point on that point, but do you notice that you dream a lot more when you go to bed before midnight? For some of us that haven't dreamed in a long time, I was going through that when I was, going through my weight gain. I was working all the time, and then I would just pass out when I was just a little bit exhausted, and then I would wake up and I forgot what dreaming was. But when I started working on going to sleep before midnight, I started having way more dreams, and it was insane. And that's because I was hitting more stage 4 REMs a lot more, and that's when you actually dream. So yeah, there's if I could say like a million times, right? But there's a secret bonus to sleeping before midnight. So do whatever you can to try to get to sleep before midnight. Obviously, I don't hit that goal every night either. It's something I wish I could do because I like dreaming. It's a lot of fun. I like lucid dreaming. That's a whole different story for a whole different time. But it's really tough to do, but really work hard on trying to set time aside and training yourself to being able to sleep before midnight. Yes, it's like an old person thing to do, but man, those old people know how to rock and roll because that is awesome. Dreaming is so much fun, and hitting those stage 4 REMs when your body is really melting that body fat away is the key. So trust me when I say this, I try to sleep before midnight whenever I can, and that's when I lose the most body fat. I had just in this recent last week, I've been working a lot on these courses, and it's been a lot of work, and I haven't had much sleep. And there was literally a cycle where I did a whole 24 hours, didn't sleep, and then I was at a point where I met some of the team, and it was about 5 hours into the next day, and I was like, man, if I fall asleep, it's going to be a problem because then I'm going to fall asleep and then I'm going to wake up super early or super late. My sleep cycle is going to be all screwed up. But what I decided to do was just to stay up as long as I could, and then I passed out around like 7 p.m., which is super early. But man, did I dream hardcore, and man, did I lose a lot of weight. I went from like I believe, let's actually take a look. It's here on the whiteboard. I write down my weight every single day. That's something that you need to do too. So right here, I was 211. And that sleep cycle, that was a long sleep cycle that I went to bed before 12 and I worked out that day, I dropped from 211 to 206.5. And man, I got to tell you, that's a lot of weight, but it was well overdue because I overworked myself and I didn't get that sleep. So there's some more proof that just you need to get that sleep or you won't burn that body fat. So make sure you burn that body fat when you sleep. Oh, before I go to the next point, I realize I haven't at all yet in this course talked about charting your goals. Accountability is what I call it. Accountability points is every single day weigh yourself. Now this is on top of the list thing, and that's what I do. If you guys can see over here, it's kind of fun. But yeah, there's a scale right here on the ground. Every day, the first thing I do right when I wake up is I weigh myself. And the reason why I do that is because, one, it's the one I weigh the lightest, right? Because I just slept through all the night and I didn't eat food yet. But two, it's right after when my body really did its work and job. And I burned all the body fat I could. And I stand on that scale and it's my natural state. There's no water, there's no food in it. That's how much I really weigh. So the reason why you write your weight every single day is because, again, the thing that I keep like to hone in on this course is you don't know your progress unless you know which direction you're going. So when you write your weight down every day, then you know how much weight you've lost, how much weight you've gained, if you're on the right track. You start gaining data and information on what works for you and what you can keep doing to continue making things the best way you can and the highest success that you can for yourself. So I highly recommend it. I created a system that you guys can check out in this course. There's lines that we do, and what I write down is the current weight that you are, the current weight that you want to get at your goal, and then at the very end is where you originally started from. And the reason why we do that is because that way you always know, you can hold yourself accountable and always know where you're trying to go and where you came from. Because sometimes it's very discouraging when you weigh yourself every day and when you have real raw data and it's like, man, I keep gaining weight or I keep doing this and it's just not there and I'm just not getting as close to my goal as possible. But when you have where you started from at the way end of the equation, excuse me, when you have where you came from at the way end, it always gives yourself that little boost when you're feeling down, and that has gotten me, man, sorry about that. That has gotten me through a lot. When I write down, because like my goal is 180, right? That's gonna be when I'm fit. You guys are gonna watch me get there. It's gonna be awesome. Fingers are crossed. But where I came from was 310, right? So when I was down to 208, 207, and then I got stressed out and I was working on this course for you guys and I shot back up to 211. Man, was that discouraging. I was like, I gotta wait to shoot these videos now. Like when I'm doing it, like if I go like this, there's like a double chin. They're gonna be like, dude, what's this fat dude trying to tell me how to lose weight? Screw him, right? He's not even fit himself. But I have to just keep forward and looking for it and keep working hard. But when I have that 310 at the end, I can go, man, yes, I need to work harder, and yes, I'm going to do these things to be better, but this is where I came from, and I have come a long way. So it really helps in a world of everybody trolling and everybody looking at you how they can negatively, and everybody, talking this and that about. So to sum this all up, basically, is that, yeah, keeping accountability and making sure you write everything down to help get rid of your anxieties, to get rid of your stress is super important on resting, because you can't rest without having your mind clear and on paper or on a whiteboard or on an app. That way you don't have that in your body and it's affecting your physical self. So yes, again, to sum it all up, make sure you always keep yourself accountable in your weight loss, weigh yourself every day, know the goals, thank yourself for the progress that you have made, but keep your vision going forward to move forward towards your goals. And obviously any things that you need to get done that are holding you back, make sure you write them all down. All right, some more tips to sleep better that I use. One of them is actually a scientific reason. You could check it out. I can't remember his name, but I'll put it in the course. Is he was a doctor, a sleep doctor, that he was like one of the funnest ones to watch on Joe Rogan, and he taught so much about it. But he taught about the cold rule, and the reason why people, he says, that like to take warm baths, they think that, oh, staying warm is what's going to help you sleep. And that's actually not the case. The reason why you take a warm bath, or people like to take warm showers or do warm things before they go to sleep, is because actually the feeling they get is their body getting cold from the heat, leaving their body the second they step out of that bath. And the cold temperatures is what actually helps you go to sleep. And the reason for this is because of a couple of reasons. One of them is a natural occurrence, right? Even without all technology, all prime state, if you think about it, you're in a primal, you're in the forest, you're in the woods. One, is it the coldest? It's at night, and that's when your body knows it's time to sleep. So yes, colder temperatures do help. Maybe some nice cold water, which is obviously we talked about in the other portion of this course. Drink maybe some cold water before sleep, even though it's not really healthy. Don't do too cold, or else you're gonna get sick. But maybe the ways to get yourself a little bit colder. Maybe the blankets, take them off your feet so that way they get colder. Whatever works for you to help yourself get to sleep. Colder temperatures are always better. This is a random one. I read it in a couple magazines, but it kind of makes sense, and let me explain. Is if you can't sleep and you're rolling in different positions, we've been there, right? We're trying this position, trying that position, but the fetal position is a weird looking position. I actually get made fun of every time somebody sees me sleeping like this, but when you curl yourself up, it actually helps yourself sleep a lot easier. And I don't have any data or science behind this. Maybe I'll find someone, I'll link it in the course. But the reason behind this is a primal thing again, right? When the time that you slept and rest the most is when you were in your mom's womb, right? When you were a little child or embryo and you're sitting there and you're curled up in a fetal position. And that's when you got the most sleep. And so your body is used to that, and it knows that. And so when it gets in that position, it feels like, oh, this is a safe, secure environment. I'm curled up into a ball. I can sleep a lot easier. So like I said, if you're rolling around and you can't sleep, give this one a shot. It might not work for you. It might, who knows. But if it does, I really hope this helped you out, because after I started trying this out, it has helped me out. I usually put a pillow between my legs and I curl myself up, and I have the other pillow right here. Yes, you're going to get made fun of. Yes, people are going to talk crap, but who cares? You're getting more sleep, so screw them. Another crazy thing that I like to do is a lot of different external things, right? So one thing is, I'll show you in some of my B-roll is I have this like fire aesthetic thing that I have that's like my, night light, right? And the reason why I have this is another primal reason, which is I believe back in the day, when we were tribes and we were like marching or just by ourselves, we invented fire. And what we would do is have campfires when we would cook our food that we just hunted through the day, but it also kept us alert and helped us keep watch, right? So when you had some type of light, you know that you're safe. And the reason why, my theory, again, these are all theories, is that when we were children and we want night lights to keep ourselves feeling safer, it's really a primal thing. It's not like, oh, we're scared of ghosts or monsters. It's actually, we're scared of getting attacked. We're scared of danger, whether it be some like beasts or some bears or some wild animals or whatever that was out in nature before, right? Even dinosaurs, right? We could get attacked. But if we had some type of light source that we created, it helped us see things if we can be waking up and see it. So that's why, yeah, people make fun of you for having a night light. Screw them. This is actually a thing that is a natural, primal, unconscious thing that helps you sleep more. So give it a shot. Have some type of light that that you can maybe see something. Some people have where they have it under their bed. You can check out. Maybe I'll have some links for you, but some type of a little night light or some type of very dim light could really help. So that's on that. But let me add more onto this light situation, right? Light is a big thing in the sense of blue light. Okay, blue light is a super, super bad thing. And the reason for that is because during the day, what do we see? We see the sky, which is blue. So it communicates to our brain and bodies that blue light is day. It's time for us to stay awake. It's time for us to be alert. And what's the problem with this? Well, we fall asleep to streaming, shows, Netflix, Hulu, HBO. We're watching the TVs, and what are they? They're full of lights and they're full of blue. We also are on our computers, we're gaming, we're doing all these things on our phone, and it's just blue light just like blasting our eyes. So like people are going, why do I have huge problems with insomnia and sleep? Well, it's because you're blasting your eyes with a ton of light and a ton of blue rays, and your body is telling itself it's still day. So how do I just turn my brain off immediately after that? That's the problem. So yes, if you can't, the best secret, the easiest solution would be just to just allow yourself to stop turning all that stuff off of, and just like give yourself a solid amount of time before you go to sleep with that. And yeah, so if you can do that, boom, there's a solution. Some fallback solutions are, some people like to read a nice book. You know, if you're reading books, one I highly recommend, right? If you haven't gotten already yet, Fat to Fit, book written by me, right? But, you know, definitely read some type of book. The reason for it is that if you have some type of orange light or night light or fire light like I do, there's not really as much blue light on it, so you can start reading a book, and it helps you fall asleep a lot more comparatively to watching TVs or games or movies, or on Instagram or on your phone or Facebook, social media. So a book is a nice solution, instead of like going on social media or you know, if you can meditate too, that's great. But another source that people like to do is eliminating blue light. So there's a lot of filters out there that you can use. There's one I remember called Flux that I downloaded on my phone and my computer, and it's really cool because you can even time it when you want to eliminate the blue light. So that's a really cool, neat feature that you can do to cut as much blue light as possible on those devices. I've been working on creating one too as well. I'll get more into this right now with ASMR, but asmrlabs.com, we're creating a feature that eliminates all the blue lights too as well, or dims them as much as possible, if that helps. There's also, I've never tried them yet. I'll give them a shot and I'll maybe do a review on it, but some people are giving me some videos and links and pictures and examples of these glasses that you can put on your eyes that eliminate blue light. So I'm gonna check those out too to see if those help, because, you know, right, anything helps. So if they work or if they don't work, I'll let you guys know. But that's another solution. Yeah, so just whatever you can do to eliminate blue light is huge. And definitely give it a shot. If you have any other ideas, let me know. And here's the final portion of this, and it's a huge portion to me because I actually was kind of a key and a missing block that I needed to help me get more sleep, to also fall asleep earlier and also getting more sleep. And that's what I call like ambient sound or ASMR. Now, yes, I'm going there with ASMR, but let me start with ambient sound, and then I'll slowly convert into ASMR, because that's such a hot topic right now, and I've become a huge fan of. For some of you guys that know, I even have an ASMR channel and stuff. But okay, so for ambient sounds, some people like to do like nature sounds, waterfalls, running water, any type of just sound that's calming and not just like obviously city sounds and stuff. But yeah, it's really nice to have some of these type of sounds. Maybe you can fall asleep to, or maybe some mantras or something slow that kind of helps you go to sleep. I have tried some of these things and I do like them. I do like water sounds a little bit, but I actually really, and I might highly recommend it to you too, that goes along with my fire nightlight, is I actually like fire sounds, and campfire. And the reason why this is, again, I like this because it also gives you the effect of what I talked about earlier of having a campfire, back to our primal states of when we were like tribes and we had a campfire just to keep watch and to keep look. So just having that in my body and my unconscious, thinking that there's a fire that's lit, and there's I think it helps me with my sleep. Also, the reason now I'm getting into it is ASMR. Okay, ASMR to me was huge. I use it every single night, no joke. And I listen to it, and I like the whisperings. I like the tappings. I like all the sounds. But the reason why I really like the whisperings, and I'm going to get into it, it's more of a primal thing too as well. Based on, to hone in on that theory of us being tribes and having each other's backs, having campfires, is what people did. There was always a couple people that would keep watch in our tribes maybe, and those people would whisper at each other. They would stay up all night, they'd whisper to each other, and they would keep each other up. And us knowing that there's somebody else awake while we're sleeping is the most peaceful situation you can be in. Because again, you're not going to get attacked by danger. You're not going to be hit. There's somebody there to keep watch. So you feel more safe and you feel more relaxed. I know it's not real, but it's an unconscious communication to yourself that there are people helping you keep watch. So that's why I think for me, it helps a ton. Another theory that some of my friends were talking, well, actually there's two theories. Another theory I want to add on to this. Another theory was that when you're in your mom's womb, again, the most safest primal state, your mom's voice, or you heard other voices around you. So you knew that there was another existence, but it was safe because you're in a safe environment. So that's why people like whispering and muffled sounds, or muffled whispering or voices, because they feel, again, that they're in the most time when they have the most rest, and it kind of gets them that euphoric, like, time back into that place. So if that helps you out too as well, that could be the reason why it's also helping you. Again, these are all theories. We're actually, me and my friends and my team are working on testing a bunch of different type of things with this, and we're hoping we'll have some answers soon. But right now I know it works. Obviously you've seen I've lost all the weight. For me, I'm not saying it works for everybody. It works for me. We're testing with other people to see if it works. But I don't have exact data reasons why, but these are my theories, and I hope it helps you on that. Now, the third theory that someone told me, which was really cool, and I coined it the Batman effect, and they said that the reason why ASMR helps a lot with people, and especially with things that they're not really like into, right? Like there's like right now there's things called mukbang ASMR where people are like eating and making like sounds. There's like, you know, tapping, and there's crackling and everything. And what Hysteria was, which is really cool, was that what you're doing, it's called exhaustion response. When you're overwhelming your body with things that you don't want to hear to the point where it just starts ignoring it, right? So like example, if you start listening to a lot of like horror sounds or crinking or like crackling or like people like stepping on floorboards and everything, your immediate response is to be like, oh, like this is dangerous. Oh, this is scary. This is like not a good situation to be in. But if you just keep doing it and you get yourself to different sounds or things that you're not really interested in, or you're like turned off by it, or you get tingles by it and it gets you nervous, you're going to exhaust that. And to the point of you're just like not going to care anymore that you hear these stupid sounds or these weird, disgusting, or crazy sounds that you're putting yourself in, like a whisper, right? So this with whispering, this is a huge deal, because when somebody whispers, when they go like this, when they talk like this, and what you try to do, and you see what you're trying to do is you're trying to like put more attention on it. You're trying to say, wait, what did he say? What did she say? I got to hear it. So you're like focusing all your energy on it to understand it. And what your body doing is like putting all its awareness onto that situation. But what it does is it exhausts that to a point of just not caring anymore. And so that's what helps you sleep. When you hear whispering and you whisper and there's something that you're focusing a lot of attention on, you exhaust that situation to the point of not caring, and that way it helps you fall asleep. The reason we called it the Batman effect is because Batman, his biggest fear he had in life was bats. So to help him overcome that fear, he became what he feared the most, which was a Batman. And that's why we decided to coin it that, is because it's like right now it's like your fear, and it's you become and what you are most afraid of, and it helps you to become it, and then now you're totally relaxed and it helps you fall asleep. So those are a bunch of theories that we have on it. And whispering, like I said, there's obviously the campfire theory for whispering, the mom inside the womb theory of whispering, and the Batman theory. We have a lot of theories, and I hope that over time we're going to get you guys more information on why it helps so much. But what I like to do is I listen to campfire sounds, and I listen to some type of ASMR whispering, and it helps me go to sleep every single night. What we actually release, and that you can check out now too as well, and that maybe you can even use on not just ASMR but other types of platforms too, is or actually other types of sounds or videos too, is a fade out effect. Because what I had a problem is when I was listening to ASMR or watching ASMR, or even like some of my other friends, they actually legit watch YouTube videos to fall asleep, or they watch Netflix to fall asleep, or types of streaming platforms. Even a big thing that I even used to do back before I knew about ASMR was I would try to watch really stupid shows that I didn't care too much about, which like Friends or something that I'm just like, I knew what was happening, I didn't really care, it wasn't really intriguing. Like the last thing I want to do to go to sleep is watch something like Breaking Bad or something that I really care about and I'm really into it, because then what we're going to do, and we've all been there, right, is we start watching a show that we're really interested in, and then we just wake up like, or no, we don't wake up, we just like, we finish the season and it's like 4 or 5 a.m. the next day, and it's like, man, like that did not help us do what we wanted to do, right? So that's why I started watching like all these different types of shows that were not as important, not as engaging. It started to do all those things that I needed help with, which is like my theories, right? Having people like talk about, or having people talking to each other kind of made that relaxing, like, okay, I'm safe. Other people are awake so they can keep watch. Also, like, it was like I was engaging in it and I just didn't care anymore. So it helped me fall asleep. So help with that theory too as well. But also just having something on was just kind of like nice and then it helped. But the problem with that and the ASMR and the sounds and everything is that I would fall asleep, then I'd wake up because something would happen on these situations because it was louder or out of pattern from what I was used to, and it just defeated the purpose. So like out of pure frustration, I don't even think I charge for this thing. I think it's free because we spent a ton of money and time developing this. It's called, right now I think it's on asmrlabs.com. I might have it on asmrfadeout.com or asmrfade.com, or I'm going to just create it. I'll even put maybe sleep fade or whatever. I'll just buy all these URLs. Whatever I have at the current state, you can find in the link below. But we built this program and this software purely for you guys. And if it's not for you guys, I don't care. I'm just going to use it myself. But it fades out anything, right? So you can fade out ASMR sounds, fire sounds, shows, YouTube videos. And what it does is it not just fades out the visual, but it fades out the audio. And this is great because when you're trying to fall asleep to something, the last thing you want it to do is to stay the same volume and stay loud, and then something might happen and wake you up. This fades out. So that way when you slowly fall asleep and you hit stage 1, 2, 3, or 4 of REM, it doesn't matter because after you can put the time, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, doesn't matter. You allow it to slowly fade out, and that way when you fall asleep, you're not going to be woken up by it randomly changing pattern or sound or discourse or decibels. It's just going to slowly fade out, and you're going to sleep, and you're going to wake up the next day, and it's going to be off. So that's why I'm super excited to release this just purely for this portion of this course. It was the most important to me because it was a big annoyance and problem that I started to have with this, but I'm really happy to give it to you guys. You guys can check it out. But that pretty much sums this up. You guys can, just for fun, plug for myself. You can check out, I've been so obsessed with this, no joke. I have my own ASMR channels. One is called ASMR Aaron. It's just called ASMR Aaron. The other one I think it's called ASMR Storytime. And just for fun, if I ever find the time, which I probably doubt, but I might have by the time you guys are watching this, an ASMR Aaron mukbang. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not because I'm really scared. Like, I've spent so much time losing all this weight. So the last thing I want to do is eat a bunch of random crappy visually fun foods for you guys to watch. But I might do it, I might not. But regardless, I do have ASMR Storytime and just ASMR Aaron. And the reason why I like ASMR Storytime and I focus mostly on that is because a lot of people back in the day, or when they were young, or some kids, their parents would read to them to help them fall asleep. And I think that's a huge thing that people kind of like lose out on when they get older. And listening to books and listening to people, read to you, I think it's a big deal. And it does two things. It's really fun, helps people give information as they fall asleep. But also, now that I created the fade out feature, you can control when it slowly fades out. So having the warmness of the listening to the voices, whether it be my channel, ASMR Aaron, or some other ASMR artists that you're really into, or just any type of audio that you're interested in somebody else reading, or again, different YouTube videos or shows, you can basically take those links, put them into this site, and you can choose when you want it to fade out, and it helps you fade out. I even created this other feature that's really cool. I mean, probably no one else is going to use this except for me, but I'm such a huge nerd when it comes to this. So what I do is I layer an ASMR video on top of my campfire sounds or a type of like nature sound, and I have them play at the same time and fade out at the same time. That way I can create my own experiences, so I can keep things variety, keep things different, entertaining for me when I sleep. But also the most important thing is that it gets me excited to go to sleep. And that's the biggest thing here, is because sleep is what? It's just a natural thing. No one really looks forward to it. It's not like a thing that people care about. People are literally lacking from it now because it's so much more entertaining to get on our phones, scroll through our social medias and stuff until it's 5 a.m. the next day, or watch some videos or whatever, than it is to sleep, because there's just so much awesome stimulation out there that we're just getting bombarded with. So somebody, hopefully us, needs to start fighting for making sleep fun and entertaining. And I hope this does this for you guys. So regardless if you check out any of that other stuff I told you about, I hope some of these, at least some of these tips that we talked about, help you guys get more rest in general, right? More sleep, more body rest, more food rest, eating less so that way your body has time to digest the food. All across the board, I hope that you guys get more rest, because without the rest, then we are not repairing ourselves, and that's when we lose the real weight. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys learned something from this, and I can't wait to see. Thanks.